the economy is really the big one. The economy is the one that really gets me because this is the untold story. This is the story that we are not hearing. If Obama were still president, this would be the lead story every single day. If Obama could have done what Trump has done with the economy, lead story every day. Obama's taking credit for it. Listen to this speech he gave. This is cut number one.
And by the time I left office, household income was near its all-time high, and the uninsured rate had hit an all-time low, and wages were rising, and poverty rates were falling. I mention all this just so when you hear how great the economy is doing right now, let's just remember when this recovery started. I mean, I'm glad it's continued, but when you hear about this economic miracle that's been going on, when the job numbers come out, monthly job numbers, and suddenly Republicans are saying it's a miracle, I have to kind of remind them, actually, those job numbers are the same as they were in 2015.
I have been waiting for days to take this apart because this is such garbage. It is such garbage, and I haven't had time to get to it, but I want to get to it now because it is the story that the left is trying to sell. Milton Friedman, the great American economist, said that there's a pattern to the American economy. The deeper the recession, the stronger the recovery. Somebody was writing about this in the Wall Street Journal yesterday, but I know this for myself. The economy has to grow even faster than normal to catch up to where it would have been without the recession. This was true until Obama. It was true until Obama, except for one other time, the Great Depression, when FDR did a lot of the same stuff. And at least FDR said, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just experimenting because I'm panicked. He said that. He actually said, we don't know what we're doing. We're just experimenting. But Obama always knew what he was doing, okay? And so there was a recovery under Obama. There was going to be a recovery, as Milton Friedman always predicted. But in the 11 previous recessions since the Depression, okay, in the 11 previous recessions, the economy recovered all jobs lost during the recession, an average of 27 months after the recession began, a little over 2 years, right? In Mr. Obama's recovery, dating from the summer of 2009, the recession's job losses were not recovered until after 76 months. That's more than 6 years, where people didn't have a job. And by the way, a lot of the jobs that were created during the Obama administration, unlike the jobs being created now, were part-time jobs and self-help jobs like Uber jobs and things like that. Nothing wrong with them, dignified jobs, but just not the same as bringing back manufacturing. Now, he was talking about, you heard Obama talking about what things were like by the time his administration was over. 2016, right? That's the end of his administration. Listen to what they were saying then, okay? This as late as 2016, Team Obama, here's from AEI, Team Obama, sorry America, the new normal may be here to stay. They were talking about 2% growth, 2% GDP growth. And this is what they said. The good times may be over for good. In a speech to the Economic Club of New York yesterday, U.S. Treasury Secretary Jack Lew said the U.S. GDP growth rate, adjusted for inflation, is now projected to run a little above 2% a year. That would be a significant downshift from the 3.4% average growth rate from the end of World War II until 2007. It's the end of 2016. They were telling us 2% growth was the new normal. Here's from the AP, same time, 2016, end of Obama, right? 8 years of Obama. Americans should get used to a new normal of slow economic growth, business economists say. The median estimates from economists surveyed by the National Association for Business Economics calls for the American economy to grow 2.2% in 2017. And by the way, we used to have discussions here at the Daily Wire because I'm like the oldest person. You have to add Ben and Knowles together to get halfway to my age. And I said to them, you guys do not know what it's like when a crappy economy like I lived through under Carter gives way to the economy that Reagan creates. It's like laughing gas. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And during the Carter economy, I will tell you from personal experience, they said the same thing. America is ungovernable. The growth rate is now going, this is the new normal. This inflation, this stagflation, this is the way it's going to be. Nobody can do anything about it. Reagan took office, bang. 2 years later, it's gone. That is the thing. They sell you that you can't do better. Let's listen to the great Nobel Prize winning economist Paul Krugman, who took off his tinfoil hat just long enough to be in this interview with this guy. Listen to the question. A little hard to hear. The guy has a thick Indian accent, a little hard to hear, but he's saying, is this 2% growth the new normal?
Many countries are flirting with deflation, or their inflation is below target. World trade is shrinking. And this is despite extraordinary policy measures such as low interest rates, expansion of central bank balance sheets, increase in public spending. So what went wrong? Means why has the world, even 8 years after this recession or after this financial crisis, not recovered fully? And do you think that this is the new normal in a way?
Okay, I am mostly convinced that it is the new normal.
Honk. Wrong, Paul. Wrong. And the thing is, Obama sat on the recovery by anti-business regulations and by that incredible, whining, solemn, America-blaming idea. And because for all his posters saying hope, the guy didn't have much hope for the future of America. Listen to this.
Some of those jobs of the past are just not going to come back. And when somebody says, like the person you just mentioned, who I'm not going to advertise for, that he's going to bring all these jobs back. Well, how exactly are you going to do that? What are you going to do? There's no answer to it. He just says, well, I'm going to negotiate a better deal. Well, how exactly are you going to negotiate that? What magic wand do you have? And usually the answer is he doesn't have an answer.
All right, and now I just want to play this little segment of David Asman's show on Fox Business. He's interviewing Trump's new economic advisor, Larry Kudlow. Just listen to the difference. This is now only 2 years later, folks. It's only 2 years later. Listen to this.
Well, more really good news for the U.S. economy, with employers adding a better than expected 201,000 jobs in August. This is yearly wage growth hits a 9-year high. Let's bring in White House Chief Economic Advisor and good friend Larry Kudlow. Larry, congratulations. What would you say the headline of this story is today?
You know, I think here's the broader headline. The single biggest news story in 2018. By far, is an economic boom that almost everyone believed to be impossible. That, to me, is the story, not all this other stuff that pops up periodically. The economy is booming on all cylinders. There's been a big change in policy and attitude and confidence. And let me add to that, this is middle class, working folks,
right,
fatter paychecks kind of stuff. And it's not over. This is not 1 quarter or 2 quarters. Every reading I have, I used to do it for a living, is this going to go on for quite some time? That's the story, David. An economic boom, folks said couldn't happen.
So Donald Trump is doing such a bad job that Barack Obama is trying to take credit for it. But Barack Obama, in his day, at the end of his administration, was asking, how is this going to happen? What magic wand does he have? Well, abracadabra, knucklehead. And this is the story. This is the big story of 2018. Kudlow is absolutely right. It's the story that's not being told. The shenanigans in the White House, whether it's true or not, is not the story of your life. This is.